for time to steer it into space, and we do it with Dylan Storey. Thanks very much to the Auckland Stardome Observatory. Good morning to you, Dylan.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. And what are we talking about in this week of space news?
Right, so there was a story that I found which is about a proposed mission to Saturn's moon, Enceladus, or Enceladus, however you want to pronounce it. So it's a project that's been launched. So that's not a mission. It's just a project. It's just kind of planning for a mission, I guess you'd say, by the German Aerospace Centre. Now we've talked about Saturn's moon, Enceladus, before on this segment. I think last year the Cassini probe, which is in orbit around Saturn, flew quite close to these geysers that are coming out of the moon.
Yeah.
Or spurts of coming out of the moon, and it took it took readings from them and discovered that there was salt in them. So it's basically salt water coming out. So that's quite exciting because salt water is one of the main ingredients for life here on Earth. The presence of salt makes it more likely that
salt and water.
Yeah. And because it's liquid water coming out of the moon, means you've got liquid salt water, so there's a source of heat. So for water to be liquid, there must be some sort of comparable temperature to that which supports life on Earth. So
right.
we're talking below the surface of the moon, somewhere between the hot core and the frozen surface. There will be an area of liquid water, like a massive underground sea, and the sort of place that can support life, possibly.
Yeah.
So these people are talking about going there. So they're talking about sending something there that can detect life. And so plans are underway for some time in the future to release this mission, because Saturn's a very long way away. It takes many years to get there, so it's not something you can do lightly. Also, when it gets there, it would have to probably split in two parts. One part that's going to fly through the plumes to get a sample of the plumes.
Yeah.
To see what's in this liquid coming out. Another would be a base station which would land on the moon, which would have to melt its way through 100 to 200 meters of ice.
Well, that's no easy feat.
It's no easy feat, and because there's no GPS system or there's nothing to guide it in, and because Saturn is about 5 light hours away. It would have to function autonomously to some extent. So it would have to some extent, make its own decisions and find its own way through. So we're talking pretty next-level technology here.
Yeah, is anything that we currently do or any technology we currently have up to the task?
I wouldn't say anything that's currently functioning that we know of. But, I mean, there is some of this semi-autonomous technology around, such as the Mars rovers, even the ones that have been there for several years now. They do have... It's not quite clear what their capabilities are. You know, NASA doesn't reveal the full details, but they do have some sort of autonomous software, so they can negotiate objects themselves. They can make some decisions themselves, because even Mars, the nearest planet, it can be up to 15 light minutes away, so it can take 15 minutes for the signal to get there, and then another 15 for them to get back. And so, I mean, you can't pilot something like that.
Right. Well, would there be any plans for the device to come back at all, or would it just be sending information back over the airwaves?
It would just send information back. It's absolutely beyond our technology to get something back from Saturn. So no, it would have to have the analyzing equipment on board to look for the signs of life and particles and just send the information back.
Okay. All right, well, that sounds pretty exciting. And what's happening at the Auckland Stardome this week?
It's February, so it's a new set of shows.
March.
And
March.
As usual... is it?
Yes. Yeah, it is, Dylan.
Yeah, good point. It's March. There's a whole new...
What year is this?
Yeah. There's a new set of shows, and there's the staple 8 o'clock show, which is the Sky Tonight, which a presenter takes you through, as the name implies, what you can see in the sky tonight. And so it recreates on the planetarium how the sky would look from Auckland at that particular time. And then, weather dependent, you go outside after the show and have a look at the real sky and have a look at some of the things through telescopes.
Okay.
So you see it all in the planetarium first, and then you see the real sky.
All right, most excellent. Check it all out at the Auckland Stardome. Follow Dylan on Twitter as well, twitter.com/Dylan Storey. Continue the conversation over there. Thanks very much, Dylan.
Thanks, Wammo.
Coming up to 10 minutes away from 8 now here on Kiwi. Got to one from the Naked and